So this is our density of primitive unit cell. We have now, so how do we calculate? Suppose we have calcium metal, okay, have primitive unit cell structure. Okay, so what is the mass of one unit cell? Okay, mass of one unit cell means I told you that there is only one sphere inside the unit cell. Inside the unit cell, there is only one sphere because at these all are present at the corner of the cube. So that is your 1 by 8. That is your 1 by 8. Okay. Okay, this one. So if it is 1 by 8, then you multiply 8. So that is your one, total 1. Okay. Now, so what is the mass of one unit cell? Mass of one unit cell is equal to mass of one sphere. And mass of one sphere is simply means that it is mass of one atom. That is mass of one atom. Okay, this one. Okay. Now, what is the mass of one atom of calcium? Mass of one atom of calcium. So, mass of one atom of calcium is equal to 40 gram by Na. Okay. Because 40 gram is the mass of any number of calcium atoms. We have to find the mass of one atom of calcium. So it is 40 gram by Na. Okay. Now coming back to our density of primitive unit cell. So it is your mass of one sphere divided by volume of the cube. So density is equal to 40 gram by Na upon A cube. But if you see the relation, what relation is there? 2R is equal to A. So in terms of radius also, we can write that 40 gram by Na is equal to 2R whole cube. So that will be 40 gram by Na upon 8R cube. So this is how we find the density. Okay. Whatever is the metal ion, you have to take the weight divided by N. So density, if I write in the general sense, density is equal to atomic weight by Na divided by 8R cube. Okay, so this is the density in the general sense. Okay, that is the density in the general sense. Whatever is the, this. So that is the density in the general sense. Okay, that is easy. If you have any doubt, you can ask. No doubt? Okay. Now, coming on to our next is your packing fraction. Okay, this is your packing fraction. Packing fraction, or sometimes it is called as efficiency also. packing efficiency. Now, what is packing efficiency? It is the volume of sphere inside the cube divided by volume of cube. Okay, so that is our packing efficiency. So this we will do in all of the cubes and all that. Okay, so the packing fraction. Okay, so that is a fraction or efficiency. So primitive unit cell. So there is only one sphere inside the cube. So volume of one sphere. There is only one sphere. So we will see the volume of one sphere. 4 upon 3 pi r cube is the volume of one sphere. Now volume of the cube is a cube. A cube we can write as 8r cube. Just we did here. Okay, a cube is equal to 2r, a is equal to 2r, so that will be this one 8r cube. So I can write this one as 4 upon 3 pi r cube divided by 8r cube. So r cube cancel. Okay, so that is your 4 pi upon 3 into 8. Okay, so if we calculate this, okay, 4 into 3.14 divided by 24. So it is coming as 0.523. So if we do all the calculations, so it is 0.523. Okay, so 0.523 means, or we can write this as 52.3%. Okay, 52.3%. 52.3% means what it indicate that 52.3% of space is filled with atom inside the cube. Okay. Rest is void space, void or empty space. Okay. So out of 100, okay, if we this is that will be 47 point this 7. Okay, so approximately you can write 48 or 52, right, like that. Okay, so that is your void space. So this is your filled space, and rest is your void space. Got it? So this is the thing that you have to see. Okay, so that is your void space. Got it? Now let's take a question on this. Okay, because I told you that this is the primitive unit cell. Okay, see the images. I told you images that we saw yesterday also. Okay, this one. So this here you can see there is your 1 by 8 of the cube. So there is a lot of empty space there. Okay, around 48% is the empty space. Around 48%. You can see that one. Okay, 48% is the empty space. Got it? So that is the thing. It's always that if the more empty space is there, the packing efficiency is less. So nature has very less primitive cells. Okay, and because the empty spaces are very large here. So empty spaces are very large. Now coming back to, let's take one question for your understanding. Okay. How many unit cells? Okay, let's take them primitive. Are present in 2.38 gram of uranium. Okay. Atomic weight of uranium is 238. So this is the question. Please do the question. Okay, good. So here, okay, just I told you that in this above here when you show mass of one unit cell is equal to mass of one sphere. Okay, that is your mass of one atom. So here also we can do that. Mass of one unit cell is equal to 238 by N. Okay, it's always like this. I told you here. Okay, it is 40 gram by Na because it is calcium. So here it is uranium, so it is 238 by Na. So it's mass of one unit cell. So how many unit cells are present in 2.38 gram? So let's take it as X, and you can solve it as this. Okay, this one. So X is equal to 2.38 into Na upon 238. So that is your 0.01 Na. So it is simple. Okay, these number of unit cells are present. Okay, this one. So these primitive unit cells, almost all the questions are simple. You have to just remember the relation 2R is equal to A, and there are 1/8 contribution and all that things. Okay. Now, sometimes they ask you the question practically what happens sometimes. Okay, let's take another question. If one sphere from one of the corner, okay, goes out. Goes out means it is missing, you can cite like that. Okay. What is the weight of unit cell Okay, if calcium is making the unit cell. Thirty-five. Okay. Any other answer? One answer is 35. Yes, Ansh. Ansh, you gave the answer. Who gave the answer? Okay, you gave the answer. There, what could be the answer? Aparajita, Tanuj. 1 minute. Okay. Okay. So one answer is 35 gram. Is this the correct answer? We have to see. Now, what I told you that in the previous lecture, that is your each sphere is contributing 1/8, and total there are 8 spheres at the corners. So 8 spheres at the corners. Okay. So there are 8 spheres at the corner. Okay. This one. So what happens when one sphere goes out? Now tell me that how many spheres are there? Total spheres. 7. Good. So now only 7 spheres are there. Okay. 7 spheres. So if only 7 spheres are there, so each sphere will always contribute only 1 by 8. So 1 by 8 is a contribution into 7. So that is now it is 7 by 8 sphere. Okay. So now total sphere, if you see exact value, so that is your 0.875. Okay. This 0.875 sphere. So now instead of one sphere, earlier we have one sphere inside the cube. Okay, contribution of each sphere and total sphere inside the unit cell. So earlier it was 1, now it is 0.875 sphere. Got it? Okay. Now mass of one calcium, one atom of calcium, mass of one calcium atom is 40 by Na. Now what mass you have to do? That is your one calcium atom, means one sphere. Earlier it was one sphere. So now we have only 0.875 sphere. Okay, so now what is the mass? 0.875 atom. You can take atom, but atom doesn't exist as this. Just the theoretical meaning. Okay, don't take it literally. So what is the mass of this? So it is 0.875 into 40 by n. So that is the mass. Okay, that you can calculate and whatever you want to do. So this is the mass now. Okay, so now it's not 35 gram. 35 gram is too much. Okay, so it is this much because you have to divide it by Na and all that. So this you have to understand this one. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Ask your doubts. Okay. So there, Ansh, Tanuj, Arshap, Rajita. Okay. So understood this. So they can ask you these type of question to carry out, but these type of question they will only ask in advance and all that to see how much conceptual clarity you have about that one. Okay. This got it? Yes, yes. This. You want to see the question? This is the question. Yes. Total one. It's not total eight. There is eight spheres at the corner. Only that I told you na here. Only eight. This is the arrangement. That is 1 by 8, 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 and that another one that you can't see here. So there are total 8. Okay. So each is contributing 1 by 8. So 1 by 8 into 8. So that is 1. But now 1 is missing. Suppose at this corner it's going up. It's missing. So it will be complete 8 spheres. Complete 8 spheres is that that is not the unit cell. Okay, that we will not call it. But that is a possibility. You can 8 spheres or 16, whatever you want to. That can also be possibility. No problem. Unit cell, because when they will say it is a primitive unit cell, it means that this is the arrangement what we studied. But if they want to give you that, if you are saying that there are total 8 sphere inside the cube, then they will mention that there are total 8 sphere inside the cube. They will mention that one. Okay. So then it will not be primitive unit cell. It would be something else. They want to ask any such question. Okay. Okay. So we done with this. So let's revise it quickly. Then we will. Okay, this one. So what we did, just a primitive unit cell. So it is your 1 by 8, 1 by 8, 1 by 8. Okay, so 2r is equal to a and all these things we saw. Volume we saw, density, then okay, this is the density. So suppose this is the mass of one unit cell, atomic weight by Na, and that is your this volume 8r cube. So these are the only things that you should remember. Packing efficiency is, remember, it's 52.3%. Okay, this figure you have to remember. Or if you want to calculate that volume of the sphere inside the cube, that is your one sphere, and then it is a cube, volume of the cube. Then if you want to calculate, but this calculation will take your time around 1 minute or so. So don't do this type of calculations. Okay. Okay. Then next is your next unit cell is the face centered unit cell that I gave you in the picture. 1 minute. Okay, this one I will upload. I haven't uploaded it. Okay, so we have studied this. Okay, out of these are the brevis lattices. Okay, so there are 14 type of brevis lattices, somewhat not clear here. But I don't think it's given in NCERT or not given in NCERT. I don't know. They have mentioned it, but I don't know whether they've given the figure. Okay. So this we have studied cubic primitive. Okay. Now we will study this I. I means body centered. Okay. This we will study. What? I will just send you. Okay. I forgot to do because there's some work there. So now we will study this. If you understood this, then only you can understand this because this is very simple. That is why it is called a simple in itself. Now let's understand the body center. Okay, body center. But before doing the body center, please tell me what is C3 axis. C3 axis. See in the previous PDF, please see that. What is the C3 axis? Okay, means corner. Okay, so okay, so that is your C3 axis. C3 means it is 120 degree. So 3 is your 120 because it's 360 divided by 120. Okay, so that is your C3 axis. Okay, now C3 axis is important here because that what is this? All the calculation what we do is based on C3 axis. So C3 axis is the axis which is passing through the Q. Okay, suppose first we have to understand the C3 axis. Okay, sorry. Okay, this one. Okay, so C3 axis passes through this corner and it passes through the another corner, just opposite to that. Okay, this one. That is your C3 axis. Now we will study the body center. Okay, this is the center of symmetry here. This point I told you, that is called as your center of symmetry. Okay, that is your center of symmetry. Yeah. So here, now let's study the body centered cube. Body centered cube. Okay, C3 axis. So in C3 axis, oh sorry, in body centered cube, body centered cube. Okay, the body centered cube. So just like primitive, okay, uh, 1/8 of sphere is present at corner. Okay, plus one sphere is present at the body center. Body center, or you can like at the body center or at center of symmetry. Okay, this one. So yes, yes, yes. Center of Center of the sphere is center of the cube in this case, body center. Okay. Now let's take a look. This body center. This is our road image. Okay, there. Now we see this body centered image here. Okay, you can see this as okay, this is the larger sphere. Okay, but I want to compare it with the this primitive one thing that I want to compare it with. Let's see this one. This. Okay, now see this here. Understand this. Now you see the primitive one. This is your primitive unit cell. So there are 8 spheres in the corner. Okay, and this is your BCC. This is your BCC. Now here there are larger spheres at the corner. Okay, as you compare this one here, there are smaller spheres at the corner. Okay, so what happens that in the body centered cube there is one large sphere. Okay, and the smaller spheres, suppose it is your, this is the, basically it is cesium chloride. Okay, cesium is very large at the center. Okay, it's very large atom, and chlorine compared to cesium is very very small. Okay, it is just like you can say Jupiter and the Earth. That comparison you can draw. So cesium is Jupiter, okay, and this is Earth. So what happens to these corner atoms here? So these corner atoms, they get separated. Here they are touching each other. The corner atoms are touching each other, the spheres. They are touching at this point. But you see, when this larger atom is inside the body center, the corner atoms are not touching these. Okay, they are not touching each other. Okay, so corner atoms are not touching. Here they are touching. So remember that they touch each other in this primitive cube, the corner atoms, but corner atoms do not touch each other in the body center. Okay, in the body center. So this is this. Understood this one? Got it? So now in the body centered cube, okay, what happens that the okay, the cube, okay, this, and we make another one. Okay, this. What happens here is that the 1/8 of the sphere is like this, and this is another 1/8 of the sphere. They do not touch each other. Okay, there is some gap in them. Okay, so there is some gap here, here, okay, like that. And here also that is the same. That is your 1/8. Now the central sphere is large enough. Okay, this central sphere body centered sphere is large enough to touch each corner sphere. Body centered sphere is large enough to touch each corner sphere. Okay. Now you see here, it is touching this red sphere is touching the yellow sphere. Okay, this sphere it is touching this sphere, this sphere, this sphere. So all spheres, all the spheres at the corner are touching the body centered sphere, but corner spheres are not touching each other. Got it? Corner spheres are not touching each other. That you have to see here. Okay, this image or whatever you want to see. This image. So they are not touching each other. Now what happens here? If we say that this we can't write here. Okay, this I will, if I say that okay, this, if it is edge length A, okay, if it is edge length A, can I write A is equal to 2R? I can't write because that is a gap here. Okay, suppose this is the radius R and radius R, so that is a gap. So that is not a possibility here. Okay, this is not a possibility. What happens here? That A is equal to 2R is not a possibility. So this edge length A, okay, this edge length A, how, now we have to find the relation between edge length A and the radius. Now we see the C3 axis, okay, we told you that is the C3 axis. Now C3 axis, if you see here, it passes through the, make the C3 axis, this is the C3 axis, it passes through the one corner and goes out from the another corner, and it is touching three spheres. The C3 axis is touching the three spheres. Okay, it is touching the three spheres. We got it? So now it is touching the corner sphere, then it is touching the central sphere, then it is touching the corner sphere, and it's going out. So that is your C3 axis, and this is your body center or the center of symmetry. Okay, this one. One thing you have to remember, that C3 axis, okay, penetrate the center of corner sphere and central sphere. So that is your C3 axis. This is your C3 axis. Okay, one thing. This one. Got this? Now you see this one, that if you see the C3 axis here, when it is passing through this, okay, it is passing through like this. This is the C3 axis. Okay, got it? So this is your radius R. Okay, got it? That is passing through whole of the red sphere, so that is your 2R. Okay, then it is basically the R. Okay, so that is your C3 axis. Anybody having any doubt? Please ask. Anuj, Dhairya, Aparajita, Ansh, Arsh. Okay, this one. So we can write this as where is this? So here I can write this is your R, then this is your 2R, and this is your R. Assuming that all spheres are of same radius, okay, we will take the different radius later. So that is your R, 2R, and R. This one. Okay. So length of C3 axis, length of C3 axis is, how much is the length of C3 axis if the edge length is A? If the edge length is A, what is the length of C3 axis? No, that is your 4R. That's in terms of A, I want to know. Length of C3 axis in terms of A. A is what? Edge length. What is this? This from this point, from one corner to another corner. What is the length in terms of A? Root 3A. Good, Aparajita. Root 3A. Okay. And also that is equal to 4R. Okay, somebody told. So that is your 4R. R, 2R, and R. So that is your 4R. So we can say like this. The relation is A is equal to 4R by root 3. So that is the relation between A, edge length A, 4R, and root 3. So that is one thing. Another thing is, another point to collect is total number of spheres. Total number of spheres or atom. Total number of atoms or spheres inside the cube based on contribution. Based on contribution. Now, if you see, there are 8 spheres. Okay, now there are 8 spheres at the corner, and their contribution is 1 by 8. So if you see the corner spheres, they are 1, 8, 1, 8. So that is the total 1. If you see the corner sphere, plus the central sphere, which is entirely inside the cube. So its contribution is totally 1. So how many spheres? 2 spheres. Okay. Total number of atoms or spheres inside the cube based on contribution is, that is your corner cube, 1 by 8 into 8. So that is your corner plus 1. That is your sphere at the center. So that is your 2. So total number of sphere inside the cube based on contribution is 2. Okay, got it? So this is the total number of spheres. Okay, have you understood this one? Any doubt in this? Okay, so we are closing the class.